Thank you. Randy Hart, Darryl Hart. Darryl's going to start with horticulture in just a minute. Also have three other faculty members that over the next hour is going to present for about 6 or so programs that we have in the College of Agriculture. And I asked to just have a 1-minute part of it as the dean to at least address you from a big picture standpoint. Over the past 4 or 5 years, we've grown about 86% student enrollment. So we're pretty close to just doubling our enrollment in the last 4 or 5 years. So we, 4 or 5 years ago, we didn't have a lot from this group. We only had 1 or 2 programs that was being supported. Because you have given us more, we've been able to impact a lot more of our students, engage our students. That then networks across Texas, and that's what brings the students in. We help our students, that's first and foremost, but it goes beyond that. We are trying to initiate some new programs. We are trying to further enhance some of the programs we already have. This is all a part of the process to help our students, not only in agriculture. Our rodeo team doesn't have a presentation for you. They already have a hardline budget. But they've doubled the numbers as well too. And about 1/3 to 1/2 of those rodeo students are not ag majors. They're students all over campus. So this is for students all over campus. And I know some of the faculty will relate to that here in a few minutes as well. My big point is we cannot continue to grow and cannot continue to involve and engage and help our students if we don't have your help. As the dean, I don't have it anywhere in my academic budget to fund these kind of activities for our students. We don't have the alumni with these activities because we haven't had the programs that long to be able to go out and ask for donations from alumni. It's kind of like athletics. Many of these teams that we have are competitive in nature. We can't ask our students to go out, we will ask them to fundraise some, but if we ask them to fundraise to support what they're trying to do, then they can't practice, and then they won't be able to compete. It's like asking the football team, oh, 4 days you're going to go raise funds, and then you're going to practice 1 day, and then you're going to go play. It doesn't work that way. If we're going to be competitive, if we're going to have national prominence, if we're going to have a national winning group to where we want to be, then this is the only place that we have to receive funds. And I want you to pay close attention to, as I know you will, to each of our presenters. We have a few of our students that have come along with us too to help support what we're doing, and you can ask them questions too. So if you have a quick question for me, I'll be happy to answer. If not, I'm going to yield all the time to everybody else. Thank you all very much for what you have supported. We didn't spend all the money this last year because we're still formulating. We're still growing, we're still building, and so yes, we're going to be spending the money you have given us. We're still spending some of it this summer with some of our student activities. We're engaging our students this summer in some of the summer activities. So fully be aware of that. Thank you.
Given that, Dr. Hart, can you provide me, hopefully before next Monday, just kind of a breakdown of what you haven't spent from those accounts and what you're anticipating spending? Because we will look at that next week and
Sure.
and consider that as possible roll money, or
Sure.
does that make sense?
Yeah, some rolled last year was worked on the
Yeah,
end first,
yeah.
so
I just don't want to. We want to know if there's expenditures that hadn't hit yet that you're
Yes.
anticipating. Because I
Absolutely.
don't want to roll that knowing that you're going to spend it.
okay, will do.
Perfect. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. How are y'all doing? I have a question I always start. Anytime I talk about horticulture, I always ask the question, who knows what horticulture is?
Plain.
That's the fun part of what I get to do. Everybody in here is involved in horticulture, some way, shape, form, or fashion. If you walk into Walmart, Look to your left, the first thing that you see is the produce section. All of that is horticulture. All of that, I like people to think that everything that was in there was grown on a tree or grown in the ground, and it was harvested, most of it harvested by hand, believe it or not. Even if you like celery, celery is still cut with a machete by hand and bagged in the field. Okay, so what this judging team is about is opening that door to more students. What we want to do is, in the Horticulture Judging Contest, these are sponsored by our national organization, American Society for Horticultural Science, and it covers the entire gamut: plant ID, plant quality, fruit quality, vegetable quality. That's what this team is about, and that's what we're trying to do. This is a new team, and so to answer my presentation is geared toward directing the questions that you asked. First off, this is a first-time proposal. Now, one thing you're going to see in all the pictures that we have here, horticulture is a very hands-on activity. If you walked around the ag building, you notice that our landscape looks a little bit different from every other building on campus. That's because all of that was designed, installed, and is maintained by students. This team will give them another opportunity to take that to a national level. Okay. This is, for example, this is the Dean's Garden outside of on the north end. This is a class from 2007. This is an intro to hort class. Did the landscaping across the north side of that. We use power equipment. We do precision work. This was actually one of the hardest projects that we've ever done. This is a raised bed. That piece, these students worked out the mathematics. They knew how wide each one of those bricks was. They knew, and so they calculated the circumference of that, designed the base of this, so that when it came together at the bottom, the bricks matched perfectly. We had to cut one here and then another, this layer, staggered perfectly. That's mathematics. That's actually applying everything to horticulture. Now, when we go into these contests, we're doing that. We're also learning about what makes, if you want to go to the store and you want to go to say you want to go to Brookshire, and you want to choose between an ambrosia apple or a Honeycrisp or a Gala, and you look at them, what makes a good fruit? What is that fruit supposed to look like? What is that orange supposed to look like? Is it okay that some of the skin's a little bit green? The answer to that is sometimes yes. The other answer is sometimes no. And how do you know which is which? That's what this project gives us the opportunity to do. And not only in the two contests the two contests that we want to go to, one of them is for the southern region. That includes all the states from Texas to Florida, up to North Carolina, Kentucky, over to Arkansas. We are competing, at that contest, we'll be competing against some of the best schools in the country. University of Florida regularly sends a team. Auburn has a team there. Clemson always has teams there. Of course, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, University of Arkansas. These schools always have teams there, so the students get to compete against that. When we go to the national conference in August, it's generally the last week of July, first week of August. That contest, it's open to every country in the nation. So in addition to the schools from the South, we're also adding Cornell, we're adding Rutgers, we're adding The Ohio State University, we're adding UC Davis. These students will get the opportunity to compete and learn and to compete and interact with students in the same field from across the country. Now, one of the questions we're asked is, we've asked for $23,000. I know that's a healthy sum. We understand that some of it we may not be able to fund. We hope that you can. If we don't, the first thing, and one of the first things that would be expected, if we lose the funding for the GA, we lose two things. Number one, my intent is to recruit a GA from a school that has competed in this contest. Find that person who has the expertise in these contests as they're currently run. When I participated in trained teams as a GA at A&M, that was in the mid-90s. the contest has changed, the contest has evolved. So we can find a student that helps come in and do that. That makes our team that much better, okay? It also will decrease, if we don't have the GA, we'll decrease training time, because some of that will be allotted to that GA service, okay? If we lose travel funding, if we lost a little bit of the travel funding, then again, the students have to make that up in fundraising. Downside is, we already do a high number of fundraisers out at the greenhouse. Where else, how inventive do they have to be to come up with additional funding? When that happens, now we run the risk that if we don't have the travel funds, now we don't go. If it's a major loss of funding and where there's significant fundraising, then the project ends. Okay, that's where we're at. What does it do in terms of funding and impact? It said impact on the department. I want to expand that to impact on the university. And I brought this. I have two daughters that are students here. One of whom just did her honors thesis in art. She just had her show. And prior to that, there was a the 3D class had their show. And I saw this here, and I went and asked them about it. And it turns out that this is from a student who took my Intro to Horticulture class as an art major. I get a lot of art majors there. And this was her 3D project for her senior class. And it's a cross-section, and in the center, she has outlined the very basics of photosynthesis. And that's one of the things that I like about this, is because horticulture probably has a broader impact on a broader range of students than just about anything else that we can do. And that's the students. That's one of the things that I want to focus on when we get these, is, and when Tiffany did this, I was actually, it actually affected me, because now I've got an art major that was impacted by horticulture. When we go after students, I'm not just looking for hort majors. I'm looking for any student that's interested. I'm looking for any student who wants to come learn and who wants to compete and take part in this and learn what it is that we do. So in this, if we don't get the funding, the things that we lose, number one, we lose an opportunity, because some of them will be horticulture students. That's obvious. Those are the students that are already against it. They're the ones that are going to be the direct benefit. But also it gives me the opportunity. We have music students, business students, education students. The Intro to Hort class is a natural science core curriculum course. I get roughly 40% of my class, which is anywhere from 35 to 40 students. The whole class is about 80 students. I generally have anywhere from 35 to 40 non-ag majors in that class who would be interested in participating in this. And also, I see this with SFA. The students from SFA are very highly regarded by other students because those students compete regularly at these contests and do very well. I want our students to have that same recognition, so that when a student applies to go to Cornell, oh, you're from Texas A&M Commerce. We know your program, we've seen y'all compete, we've seen what y'all do. Okay. And so from that, I'll open the floor to any questions that y'all may have of me. Yes?
Is this a new program?
This is new.
So,
I mean, the horticulture program has been here since about, I think we got the major in about '05.
right. So,
We have tried different ways to do this, but we've never been able to come up with the funding. And it wasn't, and in all honesty, it was I believe it was the horse judging team getting funded a few years ago that made me start thinking about this. And then realized and started talking to students and realized, yes, this is something that students would be very interested in. And so we wish to pursue.
and on one of the slides you mentioned, and also here, that a portion of it goes to your GA.
Yes.
You think your department would be able to help you in case the committee can't help you with that for the GA?
We would find a way around it. The department would probably not be able to dedicate a GA just to this project. It would probably we would probably have to have somebody who would volunteer their time in addition to their teaching responsibilities and or research responsibilities.
And out of the two conferences, there were a regional and a national one.
Yes.
If you were to, let's say, you only have one option to go, which one would you choose?
If we only had one option to go, I would probably go to the national conference, just because it's more exposure. It's a bigger contest, and also the other advantage to this, and I neglected to mention this, when they're there for the contest, they're also there for the research conference, so they can go to the poster session, and that's the other example. The regional conference will have probably somewhere between 60 and 80 posters. The national conference will have 800. The regional conference will probably have 120 to 150 spoken presentations, oral presentations. The national conference will have probably 1,000. And so it allows, that also gives the students a broader opportunity to go look and see what's going on in the academic field of horticulture.
How many students are on the team?
Right now, it's what we want to do is identify 6, and then 4 students compete.
And is there faculty and staff that oversees, or is it all student-led team?
I would serve as the kind of the faculty liaison, and I would be at the conference. I attend the conferences regularly, so I would be going with them.
I prefer the Crips paint myself, but opposed to those other apples you mentioned.
Right. Ambrosias are a relatively new find for me. I like ambrosia. I did find another one that I want to try. Even though I did pick up 2 jujubes that I'm going to start growing and see if we can get them to produce fruit here.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited about those. I found those at the nursery this morning.
Are there any opportunities to connect a team like this to the rest of the campus community? Like a community engagement aspect of the horticulture team? I'm just thinking about exposure to what y'all are trying to do, but then also if the student fee is investing in this, is there a return to the broader student population?
Oh, I think there absolutely could be. I think
other than just the pride and a team.
Oh yeah.
Doing well.
No. One of the things one of the other things I like about horticulture is that it's fairly easy for us to do something. So if there's an organizational fair, we could set up the horticulture judging team and actually have a demonstration of, how do you pick the best apple? How do you pick the best fruit? And that way the student body gets to know about it. I almost want to say we could go downstairs and be outside of Sodexo, but I don't think they would appreciate that. It seems some of the quality of the fruit. But it is something that the students certainly could put out there, and it would not be difficult to put together a program, something like that actually did reach a larger student body.
I was just thinking, wow, I mean, we've got all of the sensation of the pets and facilities and stuff, service animals. A service plant.
There you go.
Really nice,
There you go.
Some life in there, but.
Well, we did have a sale. It starts tomorrow, so we have plenty of that. We'll have plenty of those available.
Did you get rid of any trees the other day? Did you have a tree giveaway or a tree sale or something up there?
We did have a tree sale. We sold 3 of the crepe myrtles.
Okay.
I think I have 7 left. We had held back. We now have, I think we have 3 15-gallon red oaks, 3 15-gallon live oaks, and many more 7-gallon stock that'll be out there. So when we have our sale, it's trees, shrubs, just about everything. Yeah, we'll have some indoor plants out there, and of course that's another way, because this team would certainly be involved in the plant sales that we do. And we right now we're moving. Right now I think we're having 3 and 3, 3 every fall, 3 every spring.
Thanks.
Anything else? Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.